Well. What's up, gamers? Squirrely here. Thanks for jumping in, as always. Hopefully you guys got to see my last video. For those of you who are interested in making real money, real cash, things that you can actually buy stuff with in real life. In my last video, I made a video about how to make real money with marketplace.tf. There's some other ways to do it, but a lot of people have been asking me since I've been kind of cashing out some items, what are you doing? How do you do it? So if you're interested in turning your TF2 items or just kind of making some passive income on the side, take a look at the last video. I talk about how you can pretty much turn your TF2 items, your pixels, into actual real money that you can put in your PayPal or your bank account. Anyways, today's video we're talking about a trend it's been going on for a while actually, but it just hasn't stopped. It keeps going and going and going, and I wanted to make this video a while ago, but I was like, you know what, I can't wait any longer. So today we're talking about what is going on with all class hats and multi-class hats. They've just been dropping in price consistently from the super high tiers to the low tiers, the mid tiers, and nothing is really safe, to be honest, except the really rare items like the one of ones, one of twos, the Halloween effects. So the really rare items are still going strong. A lot of those are actually going up in price, but the regular hats, the other kind of more general effects, and the all-class, multi-class hats have just been dropping, and they're dropping pretty hard actually. So a lot of these hats that were maybe 800 keys, now they're going for like 300, 400 keys, and there's not really any sign of them bottoming out yet, so they could go even lower, who knows. But I have a couple theories, I have some ideas of what's going on, so I'm going to share those with you guys. Let me know what you think. Thanks for your support as always. If you like my content and you want some more, you know what to do. This is YouTube. Subscribe, shoot me a like or a comment, and then, yeah. So, what is going on? If you guys have been paying attention or been looking for some hats, you'll notice that a lot of all-class hats have just been going down. So, your God tier hats like Crone's Zones, Brotherhood of Arms, I don't know, even Hat with No Name, which is a really high tier multi-class for a while. They've just been dropping in price pretty consistently. The Brown Bomber and some of the other winter hats that are all class, they've all just kind of been dropping in price. Like I said, unless it's like a rare effect or something. So the first thing I think is basically there's just a lot more multi-class and all-class hats in general. So back in the day, if you wanted an all-class hat, there's only like 5 or 6 of them. So you're gonna pay a lot just because there's not that many. They don't exist. If you want them, you got to strip it off someone. You got to take it from someone else. And there wasn't a whole lot of effects back then either. So it was really just a numbers game. There wasn't that many hats back in the day. So if you want a nice all-class hat, you're looking at Brotherhood of Arms, Killer Exclusive, Crone's. I mean, these hats are super expensive. But now, you want an all-class hat, you have so many more options. I don't know exactly how many. I'd have to look up in the wiki. But there's just tons and tons of all-class hats and multi-class hats. So there's just, numbers-wise, there's a lot more options for people to buy. So you can buy something cheaper. You don't need to go to the super high tier or the super expensive anymore. The next thing is that when there's this many hats, this many all-class, multi-class hats, people start undercutting each other because they can say, well, the Killer Exclusive for my same effect is worth this much, so I'm going to go a little bit less, and they kind of start tiering off of each otter. So the God tier hats and the high tier hats and the middle of the road hats and lower tier, they all kind of adjust off of each other. So if there's a ton of all-class hats, those kind of drop in price. So say a lot more Crone's Zones or Brotherhood of Arms or whatever unbox, then the tiers below them also kind of drop with them because that's what you're using to compare them to. Whatever's most popular, if that's dropping, then the other ones kind of have to drop too, in theory. The next thing is it's easier to unbox all-class hats and multi-class hats. So they came out with the multi-class crate, which I remember when that first happened, I was like, what? You can unbox all... So whatever you get, if it's unusual, it's going to be a multi-class. So I don't know why people unbox anything else. If you're trying to unbox for profit, unboxing for profit is almost never a good idea. But if you're going to unbox, why would you unbox a single class hat? You should pretty much only unbox a multi-class hat because odds are it's going to be worth more. But then what happens is so many people unbox just looking for that all-class hat or the multi-class hat that there's just way more that exist. And if you go back into older crates, they unbox all-class and multi-class hats as well. Man, I'm saying that word so much, it's hard to say. But I'll just say multi-class hats from now on. So you can unbox them in the newer crates, the older crates, the multi-class crates. So there's just a much higher chance of unboxing them in general. And like I said, with more hats that come out, the odds go up even more and more. So it kind of becomes exponential. The next thing to think about is that as I was saying, there's different tiers of the hats. So like your Chrome Stones, your Killer Exclusives, your really high tier hats. A lot of this also, just a side note, is kind of excluding Misk's hats, so like Viewfinders and stuff like that. I'm not really counting those because Misk's are always going to be expensive because they're pretty rare. As far as I know, you haven't been able to unbox a Misk in a very long time, so that's kind of separate than just your regular multi-class hats. But anyways, what happens is, like a really high tier effect on a multi-class hat goes down. So say like a Burning Brotherhood of Arms. When it first came out, I remember it wasn't too long ago, the first one was unboxed. It went for like 2 or maybe even 3,000 keys, something like that. It went for a lot. I think it sold for like a golden pan and some other stuff. And then a second one came out, and a third, and a fourth, and then eventually the price of that just tanked. So if the Burning gets cut in price, the price gets cut in half, then the Scorching drops, and then everything kind of, sunbeams, and then the lower tier, mid-tier effects, and you kind of get this cascading effect. And we've seen this with other multi-class hats too. So if, say, like the Burning Brown Bomber goes from like 800 keys to 300 keys, then what does that say about all the other lower tier effects? They should be priced well below 300 keys. So you see this sort of avalanche effect of there's so many hats, and the high tier effects aren't worth as much. So if the high tier effect drops in price, then everything else kind of just slides down the hill with it. It all kind of moves down in price. So whether that's right or not, it kind of makes sense. So like I said, the only hats or effects that are really safe are the really rare ones. So if they get like an all class for like Bonzo the All Gnawing, or like a Spellbound hat, or something Burning, or for some reason the Halloween is still super profitable and they're very expensive. But other than that, the regular hats that are easy to unbox through crates and whatnot, they just pretty much been going down in price. So another thing to think about is the prices on a lot of these are super outdated. So if you look like on backpack.tf, a lot of arrows for the items, a lot of them are just going down, meaning the prices of them have been voted to drop in price, or has a little pyramid, little triangle, meaning the price is outdated. So either it's an outdated price and it's too expensive, or the price has finally been updated and it's dropping. Like 8 out of 10 times the price is dropping. So what happens too is that on these outdated prices, no one's going to pay pure. No one's paying 800 keys for an all-class hat anymore. They're like, well, how about like 200 keys and a bunch of other mixed stuff thrown in there? And so, you don't value it as high because it's not all pure. Basically, people are paying for less and in a bunch of different items, so that also drives the price down. So, I mean, I had to do this myself. I had a handful of all-class hats that I had, and, they're priced at 500 keys, 600 keys, and I would say, if you're paying in mixed, I'll take, 500 or 600 keys or a little bit of overpay. But if you got pure, I will sell you for basically half price. I will quick sell for 50% off, 40% off, whatever, because you can buy so many nice expensive things with full pure. So you could buy a 500 key all class hat for like literally 300 keys, 250 sometimes. It happens all the time. So the people with the really high tier hats, the old price is 800 keys, they will easily take 800 keys in mixed, or even like 600 keys in mixed, or maybe 400 keys pure. It happens all the time. So I don't know. Things are kind of crazy right now. I think the all-class hats are kind of being flooded into the market, and it's kind of pushing down the price of everything, which maybe is a good thing, because if you want to buy a hat, especially a multi-class, all-class hat, you can afford it now. There's a lot of nice high-tier effects, or even mid-tier effects, that are pretty affordable. You don't have to pay 1,000 keys for a god-tier hat now. You could pay 500 in mixed or something. Or if you want to get some really cheap all-class hats, they're out there for 30, 40 keys, which is, pretty good deal, actually. So, just to kind of recap, number one, there's just a lot of hats now, a lot more multi-class hats in general. Number two, people start undercutting each other because they're comparing it to other higher tier hats, and you kind of get this cascading effect. Number three, it's way easier to unbox them because more exist, and then there's the multi-class crate. The next one was when people change the price of the higher tier items, mostly with an effect, so like a Burning all-class hat, that drops in price. Everything else kind of drops with the effect as well. And then the last part is a lot of people aren't selling these all-class hats for pure anymore. They're paying a lot less in pure, or close to full price in mixed, or even a lot less in mixed in many cases. So the prices are outdated. People are paying less for them. They're selling for less. And then once they do get price, it'll kind of balance itself out. But for now, all-class hats and multi-class hats, if you jump on backpack.tf, you look on there like Brotherhood of Arms, Chrome's Dome, Tough Stuff Muff, hat with no name. Like, a lot of these are just down arrows. They're all getting priced. They're all dropping in price. So It's definitely an interesting trend. If you're looking for a nice all-class hat, maybe this is a good time to buy because they are going for a lot less than they used to. I don't think they're crashing as hard as the unusual fires, unusual taunts. I made a video about that a while ago about they're just being destroyed. I mean, like 80-90% off across the board. I bought an all-class, or I bought a soldier unusual taunt the other day, fresh brewed. I had it like 6-7 months ago. It was worth like 95 keys, and I bought it for 9 keys. Bought it for 9 keys. So I bought it just for fun, but yeah, it's crazy to think about that. So thanks you guys for watching this video. You know what to do if you want to show support. Shoot me a sub, shoot me a comment, shoot me a like, or hopefully I'll see you in game. You can say what's up. I get a lot of nice things from you guys in game, so I appreciate that. Someone the other day even said that I saved their life. Yeah, so you got to keep watching my videos to save your life. Anyways, have a great one, you guys. Maybe I'll see you in game, and until next time, peace.